Ramana Maharshi's words are deep and direct. My comments are intended to bring his deep words into your experience. I'm reviewing and commenting on the book Talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. This week is talk 130. Let me get it up on the screen. Lakshman Brahmachari from Sri Ramakrishna Mission asked, inquiry of who am I, or the I thought being itself a thought, how can it be destroyed in the process? And Ramana responded, when Sita was asked who was her husband among the rishis, Rama himself being present there as a rishi in the forest by the wives of the rishis, she denied each one as he was pointed out to her, but simply hung down her head when Rama was pointed out. Her silence was eloquent. Similarly, the Vedas are also eloquent in neti, not this, and then remain silent. Their silence is the real state. This is the meaning of exposition by silence. When the source of the I thought is reached, it vanishes, and what remains over is the self. The devotee says, Patanjali Yoga Sutras speak of identification. Maharshi replies, identification is with the Supreme only. The Supreme is only the other name for destruction of the ego. Now, talk 130 begins with questions about the process of self-inquiry and the nature of the I thought. Lakshman Brahmachari raises a question about the self-inquiry technique of asking, who am I, or inquiring into the nature of the I thought. He wonders how this inquiry, which is itself a thought, can lead to its own destruction. How can you put an end to thought by thinking about it? This question has long plagued those pursuing spiritual practice. How can I stop thought by thinking about it? In response, Ramana uses an analogy from the Ramayana, a Hindu epic. He mentions a scene where Sita, the wife of Lord Rama, is asked to identify her husband among a group of rishis, sages. When each sage is pointed out to her, she denies that he is her husband. However, when Rama himself is pointed out, she remains silent and hangs down her head, indicating that he is her true husband. Ramana suggests that her silence speaks more than words. The answer lies in the silence, not in any of her verbal denials. Likewise, the Vedas, the ancient scriptures of Hinduism, use the term neti, not this, as a practice to negate all possible conceptual identifications with the ultimate reality. This process of negation leads to silence, in which the real state shines. This silence is what remains after all the mystical and verbal answers have been exhausted. The silence of the Vedas implies that the ultimate truth cannot be defined or described with words, but can only be realized through direct experience found in silence. Ramana explains that the process of self-inquiry, where one investigates the source or origin of the I thought, it ultimately vanishes. It dissolves, since the I thought was never real to begin with. It was only the barest assumption, never challenged. The identification with the ego dissolves, and what remains is the true self, pure awareness or consciousness. This is found in the silence within, not in any of the mental answers of the mind. The mind knows only objects. Who you are is not an object, but is being itself.